All right, we're diving into digital self-sufficiency today,
Okay.
pulling some insights from urban independence.
Right.
This whole idea of using tech for location independence and all that, I think it'll resonate with you listeners, especially those interested in city living.
Definitely. And it's more than just like tech skills, you know? It's a whole mindset
Yeah.
about navigating the world, being resilient,
Okay.
especially relevant in cities where things are always changing.
It is. It's like the book saying, hey, master the digital world and you can master the city.
Exactly.
But what does digital self-sufficiency even mean?
Well, it's more than just using a smartphone, right?
Right.
It's understanding how tech impacts us, how to use it for our goals, how to stay safe online, all of that.
So it's empowerment then.
Yeah.
Like taking control instead of just being swept along.
Exactly. And it can be really empowering economically, too.
Oh, so.
Think about it. Remote work, freelancing, even starting your own online business.
Yeah.
Your location matters less. So many more job opportunities open up.
That's exciting, especially if you're into the whole digital nomad thing.
Right.
Speaking of which, the book talks about setting up a home office, but when I hear that, I just think boring desk and
Well,
paperwork.
it's much more inspiring than that.
Okay, good.
It's about creating a space that actually helps you be productive.
Yeah.
Ergonomics, lighting, even the psychology of color impacting your focus.
So designing your ideal work environment then?
Exactly.
I like it. Are there like any must-haves they mention?
Oh, yeah, they get into specifics.
Okay,
Comfortable chair, good for your back, especially if you're at the computer a lot.
makes sense.
External monitor to reduce eye strain.
Good point.
Natural light, too, boosts energy and mood.
Yeah, I've definitely felt the strain of working on a laptop all day.
Yeah.
But what about the tools you need for remote work?
Right, especially for collaborating.
Yeah.
Well, they have a whole section on that.
Okay.
The obvious stuff, reliable internet, video conferencing, but also project management apps, cloud storage, communication platforms for different time zones.
Wow. So a whole digital ecosystem for working together,
Exactly.
which is only getting more important as remote work grows.
Definitely.
But even with the best tools, remote work can be tough, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Take self-discipline, organization, good communication,
Right.
and that's where digital self-sufficiency is key.
Makes sense.
Not just having the tech, but the skills and mindset to use it well.
Okay. I'm seeing how it all connects.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about online learning, another big part of this.
Right.
I know you're big on continuous learning, so I'm curious what you thought of this section.
Well, one thing they emphasize is that it's not optional anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Things change so fast, we need to keep learning to keep up.
That's true.
And luckily, the internet makes it easier than ever.
Yeah, there are so many online courses, it's overwhelming.
Right.
They even break it down, free versus paid, MOOCs, boot camps, all of it.
They do.
And even specific platforms like Coursera and Udemy.
Which is helpful for people just getting started.
It is.
And they offer so much variety.
Yeah.
From tech skills like coding to creative stuff like photography or writing.
There's really something for everyone.
Absolutely.
I love learning new things,
Yeah.
but get distracted by all the options.
I hear you.
Any advice on choosing the right course?
They talk about aligning your goals with your learning.
Okay.
Like, are you upskilling for your current job? Or exploring a new career?
Makes sense.
Or just pursuing a personal interest? Figure that out and then you can narrow it down.
I'm very visual, so I always go for courses with videos and interactive stuff.
Right. It's about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
But they also caution against just chasing trends.
Oh, good point.
Don't fall into learning for learning's sake. Be strategic. Focus on skills that'll actually benefit you.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that brings us to their last point about online learning.
Okay.
It's not just about knowledge, it's about using it in the real world, especially in the context of urban self-sufficiency.
So connecting it back to our topic.
Exactly.
I like it.
It's fascinating how it all ties together, you know?
It is.
Not just being tech savvy, but using tech to empower yourself in the city, build a better life,
Yeah,
more resilient, more fulfilling. That's the goal.
I agree.
Like it's this toolbox, you know,
Mm-hmm.
full of possibilities,
Right.
but you got to know which tools to use and how to use them,
I like that.
especially in the city.
It really highlights that we have choices.
Yeah,
But it's interesting, the book doesn't just focus on the digital.
right.
It talks about practical skills for city living, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like gardening, sharing resources.
Mhm.
How do you see those two worlds connecting? The digital and the physical.
They complement each other.
Yeah.
Think about it. You can use online resources to learn about gardening.
Okay.
find local communities, even order seeds online.
Right. It enhances the physical.
Exactly.
Like those apps that help you find farmers markets or swap plants with neighbors. Yeah, exactly.
As a whole ecosystem for urban sustainability.
It is.
But zooming back to digital self-sufficiency,
Okay.
they talk about learning new skills for the city.
Right.
Not just coding, but things like home repairs, DIY, even financial literacy.
All important stuff.
Yeah, why do you think they emphasize those so much?
Well, they're really practical in a city.
Okay.
Knowing how to fix a leaky faucet saves you money on a plumber.
That's true.
Sewing or mending clothes reduces waste.
Good point.
And financial literacy helps you manage the high cost of living.
It's about having control, right?
Exactly.
But all these new skills, it can feel overwhelming.
I know what you mean.
Where do you even start?
Well, information is everywhere now.
True.
The book mentions online resources like YouTube tutorials, courses on Skillshare or Udemy,
Okay.
even local workshops, community centers, maker spaces.
Oh, maker spaces. What are those?
Basically, community workshops with tools and equipment.
Okay.
3D printers, laser cutters, woodworking, sewing, you name it.
And they often have classes too, so you can learn from others.
So cool. I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's like the sharing economy for tools and knowledge,
Exactly.
which the book also talks about.
It does.
Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Sure. It's basically people sharing resources through online platforms.
Right.
Cars, apartments, skills, all kinds of things.
And how does that tie into self-sufficiency?
It's a more sustainable and affordable way to live in the city.
Go
Like
ahead.
using a car sharing service instead of owning a car,
Makes sense.
or borrowing a drill from a tool library instead of buying one.
So it's about access rather than ownership.
Exactly.
I like it. It's more collaborative, more resource efficient.
And it makes sense in a city where space is limited.
Definitely.
But it's not just practical, right?
Yeah.
There's a social aspect too.
Oh, for sure.
Building community.
Yeah, like time banks, people exchanging skills and services without money.
I've heard of those.
You might garden for someone in exchange for tutoring.
That's cool. Or help with taxes for help with a home repair.
So it builds connections.
It does. It's about recognizing the value in everyone's skills.
I love that.
So it's not just individual, it's collective empowerment.
Using tech to connect and build more resilient communities.
Exactly.
But we also need to be prepared for the unexpected, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Emergencies happen.
They do.
Did the book talk about that at all?
Yeah, they have a whole section on emergency preparedness.
Okay, go.
Having a plan for disruptions, natural disasters, power outages, anything.
It's easy to forget about that stuff in the day-to-day.
It is.
So what do they suggest?
A basic emergency kit with essentials, water, food, first aid, flashlight,
The basics.
and a communication plan with family or housemates.
So everyone knows what to do.
Exactly.
It's a crucial part of being self-sufficient.
It is.
Having the knowledge and resources to handle tough situations.
And take care of yourself and your loved ones.
Right, and some of those skills we talked about, they become even more important in emergencies.
Oh, absolutely.
Fixing a roof, growing food, communicating.
All essential.
We've covered a lot. From digital skills to practical skills to emergencies.
We have.
Urban self-sufficiency is really about weaving it all together, isn't it?
It is.
Building a resilient and fulfilling life in the city.
And what stands out to you the most from all of this?
You know, it's the interconnectedness of it all.
Yeah.
It's not just about me being self-sufficient. It's about how that impacts my community.
Right.
Individual actions leading to collective well-being.
A positive feedback loop.
Exactly.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is. It gets to the heart of urban independence.
Mm-hmm.
Not just surviving, but thriving.
Exactly.
And that comes from personal empowerment, sustainability, community.
All working together.
You know, it's got me thinking about the spaces we live in.
Yeah.
Homes, workplaces, neighborhoods.
Right.
And the book has a whole chapter on sustainable building,
It does.
which feels connected to all this.
It is.
It challenges the idea that it's just about composting and recycling. What are some of the key principles they highlight?
Well, energy efficiency is huge.
Okay.
Insulation, efficient windows, smart thermostats,
Makes yes.
reducing energy use, lowering bills.
Right. And helping the city overall.
Exactly.
They also talk about eco-friendly materials,
Yeah.
bringing in natural elements, plants, natural light.
It's a holistic approach.
Yeah, thinking about the environment and people.
Right. And it's not just individual homes.
Oh, interesting.
Green roofs on buildings, rainwater harvesting systems,
Wow.
making cities more livable.
It's like buildings become part of the ecosystem.
Exactly.
But we also need to take care of ourselves.
Right.
Right.
Mars.
And they have a chapter on health and wellness in the city,
They do.
diet, exercise, spending time in nature.
All important.
They even talk about urban foraging.
Yeah, finding edible plants right in the city.
That's so cool.
It is.
And they emphasize mental health, too.
Absolutely.
Managing stress, building resilience in a busy environment.
Crucial.
As we've been talking about all this.
Yeah.
I'm struck by how it goes beyond just surviving in the city.
Me too.
It's about creating a fulfilling and sustainable life.
For ourselves and our communities.
Exactly.
Using what we know to make things better.
It's not just a destination, it's a journey.
It is.
And that's what urban independence is all about.
Absolutely.
So keep exploring these ideas, everyone.
Yes.
Experiment, see what urban independence means for you.
Right.
This is just the beginning.
It is.
There's so much out there to discover.
Go create your own urban adventure.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.